Peace and blessings, family. I'm your brother in the struggle, I leave. And today we're going to decipher and decipher the Saviour's letter and why we use Self Saviours letters today. But before we get into that, I was just looking for basically some direct quotes from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. And I came across a deep picture. You know how you see different pictures of the lamb? And this is a beautiful picture right here. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I want to share this picture with y'all. Let me see if we get a little closer. He got on what appears to be a Muhammad Speaks t-shirt, and he got his hat on and the sunglasses chilling. Let me lighten that up. Shout out to the podcast guru who is sharing the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, greatest enemy, fear. Now, I love that picture right there. All right, let's get into today's subject matter. The Saviour's letters in the Nation of Islam is very important, and it's often misunderstood and even exaggerated by some of the misinformed believers who are sincere, but they just sincerely wrong. A lot of times we bring out old spooky concepts into the spiritual sciences of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. Like I heard different people explain, like, if you don't have your ex, you can't see the hereafter. You can't have a holy name. This all kind of innuendos that people assume. But it's better when we look at the original divine direct teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And when we look at them in context. We look at them in reality. Not our spooky, holier than thou, wishful thinking, if you will. We have to see it not as it appears to be, but as it is. Okay, so in these Saviour's letters, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says this. Let us just look at one real quick. All right, pardon me for a minute here. It says, you had to address the city and state that you live in, then you got to put the date. But it says, Mr. W.F. Muhammad, 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60615. Dear Savior Allah, our deliverer, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. I believe in the religion of Islam, as taught by thy servant Elijah Muhammad. I bear witness that Muhammad is thy servant and apostle. I desire to reclaim my own. I desire a name from thee. My slave name is as follows. Name, Mr. or Miss or Mrs. And that's basically the crux of the Saviour's letters that were used by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. I would like to give credit where credit is due, to the Nation of Islam as a whole, because every branch of the Nation of Islam has some form of Saviour's letter. But I'd like to thank our beloved brother, Minister Levi Kareem, and his family, and the believers that work with them and support them, because they've been, at least since like the early 90s, they've been trying to push out and share the original divine life-giving teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And they were in the so-called first resurrection. I just seen a pull up from Brother Minister Malik from our Lancaster, just sent the greetings. Salam Allah to Brother Minister Malik Allah and the family out Lancaster, PA. He just happened to come across the TV screen. And I'm just throwing together a little video. That's a little sloppy. Y'all got pardon my junk. I'm a busy man, but we get it done. Most ministers, they real professional. They be suited and booted. I got on some pajama pants and a t-shirt. Need a shave and a haircut, actually. But I'm not into me. I'm into the teaching. So I want y'all not to focus on the presenter, but focus on what's being presented. Now, I mean, I'm not here to preach, I'm here to teach. I'm not trying to give out inspiration. I'm not Dr. Martha King. I'm not the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. I'm not eloquent like them. I'm not trying to give out inspiration. I'm not an evangelist. I'm more like a pastor. So my mission is not to give out inspiration, but to give you information, factual information, to give you the raw war teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, so that you won't look at uh, the master, the messenger, or the ministers, but you'll look at the me. You'll see yourself in the mirror. You see yourself in the struggle and what it is that you can do to help bring in the divine teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So this Savior's letter, I mean, looking at it in context, we gotta look at this in context. And when I say in context, what I basically mean is some interesting things here. The address, 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Okay, let's stop right there because historically, Master Fard Muhammad, who was known as Prophet W.D. Fard, he was in Detroit, Michigan. He was in Michigan. So this is a totally different state. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was in Michigan. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met him and heard the teachings, the first time he said he didn't get to see the Savior. I mean, he was in the basement, he couldn't get in there. I mean, but it was in Michigan and not Illinois. Now, I mean, at the time, uh, Master Fard Muhammad was known as Prophet W. Uh, he's known by various names, but Wallace Fard Muhammad is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has here in our Savior's letter. And he's calling him Dear Savior Allah, our deliverer, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. So the believers are the people that's joining and registering with the Nation of Islam formally, if you will. They are bearing witness or making that shahada that the Savior, Master Fard Muhammad, is Allah. And that's very, very, very important for us to understand because in the early 1930s, Master Fard Muhammad was not publicly being uh, taught as our Savior Allah, our deliverer, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. Other ministers didn't believe that notion. They was trying to keep it like he's a prophet. But of course, his work showed and proved that he definitely was a law person. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the one that made that a dominant thought. Other ministers realized it, believed it, recognized it, and even publicly mentioned it. But it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that really got us to see Allah as Allah, because only Allah can see Allah as Allah. So our Savior, Allah, our deliverer, who came in the person of Master Muhammad. Now, in the next paragraph, he says, I believe in the religion of Islam. Now, this is very interesting because in the early years, you look at his first books, Supreme Wisdom, Volumes 1 and 2, which we have behind us on the bookshelf somewhere. Down Elijah Muhammad taught us how to make rakats. He explained that some of his followers had the prostration mark on their foreheads from making prayers on rough prayer mats. Now, as a formal and as a collective, the FOIs and MGTs just simply were not making rakats. When you look at Saviour days, when you look at temple meetings, now I mean, it'd be extremely rare to see a group of FOIs and or MGTs making rakats together. You'll see that once the messenger's physically dead and gone. You'll see that once the messenger's son, Imam Warfdeen Muhammad, takes over the Nation of Islam. Then people start getting into that. But at that time, they wasn't into that. Now, I mean, um, this Savior's letter says, I believe in the religion of Islam. Now, that's used in a colloquial sense or an informal sense, meaning that if you were sitting at the messenger's dinner table and you asked them, is Islam a religion? he would clarify it for you and explain to you that Islam, to him, and according to Master Muhammad, is not a religion. But he explains that we call it a religion, but actually, Islam is our nature. And the Holy Quran, chapter 30, verse 30, teaches that the deen is actually a way of life. It goes into the very essence or the universal law of mathematics, cause and effect, actions and reactions. It's an ancient and universal spiritual science, meaning that our concept of Islam is submission, meaning that everything in the universe submits to universal law, meaning a grasshopper cannot produce a roach. A roach does not produce mice. Mice don't produce birds. Everything is alike. It's all cause and effect. It's all based on universal mathematics. If I toss something up in the atmosphere, it's going to come down. Now, I mean, if this object is in motion, it's going to stay in motion. Now, I mean, because there is uniformity and universal laws that are governing every aspect of creation. So we can't look at Islam as being our religion, even though we're saying it's our religion. We're saying it's our religion to clarify our spiritual science. But if you was to ask the messenger to elaborate on that, he explained to you that God has no religion, that Islam is actually our nature in which he was self-created. Okay, so that's an important element in his Savior's letter. As taught by thy servant Elijah Muhammad, I bear witness that Muhammad is thy servant and apostle. Now here the messenger is considered the servant and the apostle. He's the Abdul and he's the Rasul. He's the messenger or he's the apostle. He's not the Nabi. He's not the prophet, because Muhammad of 1400 years ago, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, our thoughts of peace be upon him, he is the Khatim Nabi, or he is the seal of the prophets. There is no more prophets after Muhammad from the holy city of Becca or Mecca, Arabia, as we call it in this day and time. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he wrote things, he said things, he did things, but there were deeper meanings behind his niyat or his intent. Now, I mean, so the messenger with the Savior's letter, he gave us our own form of a shahada where we bore witness. But like the Holy Quran, in the 114 chapters or surahs of the Quran, the shahada was just to bear witness that Allah was Allah. We bear witness that all of the messengers, all of the prophets of God were servants of Allah. I mean, and we make no distinction there. But Muslims, Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, Ahmadiyya Muslims, Ansari Muslims, different various methabs or different schools of thought in Orthodox Islam, they commonly use that Shahada, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Abdullah Rasulullah, that they bear witness that there is no God but God, and that Muhammad is the messenger of God, or the prophet of God, or the apostle of God, or the servant of God. All those things are haq, are reality. All those things are true. All those things are facts. Those things are spiritual sciences. So in the Nation of Islam, it's basically the same. Spiritually speaking, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. The heart and mind of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is made ahead of one with Allah. The way that Master Muhammad thinks is the way the messenger thinks. His will becomes his will, his desire becomes his desire. Not in some spooky sense where the messenger is trying to um, compare himself to the Savior. His thing is like, no, he's simply saying that when you really understand it, there's unity and faith. There's a oneness there. Now, I mean, so we realize that if we're living 1400 years ago or 2000 or 4000 years ago, if we disobey Abraham, we're disobeying the law. If we disobey Musa or Moses, thoughts be upon them with peace for all the prophets of God, if we disobey any of the messengers of God, we're disobeying God himself, because that is God's word made manifest through that messenger. So Master Fard Muhammad's will, aim, and purpose is made manifest through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is physically not here right now. Some people believe he's still physically alive on the mother plane, soon to return. It's variations between all that. But that's not the issue. What the issue is that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is physically not here in the year 2022, as we call it. But what do we have? We have the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and we have the teachers of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, when it comes to the teachers, and I'm a poor righteous teacher, a 5%, I'm striving to be. You're a poor righteous teacher too. As we try to uphold and maintain the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and use them as our spiritual guidance in our lives and to put them in practice so that we can become better in our own person, we have to realize that none of us are perfect. Now, I mean, we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God or the very nature of the original man who is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Now, the messenger, he speaks about the Savior's letter in his own words. Let me see if I can find Bella. I could do it on the laptop, pardon me. But it actually go, okay. Now, this is from Minister Levi Kareem's Muhammad Speaks websites. I advise you to go on there, click on there, not just for this, because just all of the beautiful wisdom that's on there. But this is the messenger speaking.
And we have workers that you have not got acquainted with yet. You'll write your letter in to get joined up or registered up with we the Muslim world. Probably you never seen the secretary that received your letter and examine them for correction. Is Sister Hutton here? Yes, come here. Come on out. Turn on that way. You have to go over there. So, this is Sister Margaret Hutton, the one that you write in for your letter to be okay for practice in the nation of Islam so that you may become a registered Muslim in the nation, because you can't get in the nation of Islam like you can in Christianity. Oh no, it's not that easy. It's a little harder than that. So this is Sister Hussein. She's the one that reads your letters and okay them if they are right. And maybe some of you have never met her. So Sister Hussein, I met her a long time ago, and I keep, chastising every now and then. When you don't hear from her so often, she's crying. Well, the Bible says God doesn't take one of us unless He give us a Savior. He must chastise us, let us know.
Alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah. Again, thank you, Minister Levi Kareem, for sharing that wisdom, that jewel, if you will, from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. But basically we see here that a believer that believes as we believe, who was the secretary. She was the one at that time in that location that was reading the Savior's letter to approval. not Master Farah Muhammad, not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's not practical. I mean, a lot of people, we get spooky. Think about it. If you take the first fruits, 144,000, imagine Master Farah Muhammad or Honorable Elijah Muhammad sitting on a throne, and 144,000 FOIs and MGTs got to come to them, and they going to name each one of them individually. Do the math. How much time would it take for them to be named? How many um envelopes would they have to open up and read to see if the Savior's letter is written correctly? Now, I mean, so the point that I'm trying to get you to look at is there is nothing spooky in the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Nothing. Now, I mean, uh, a person may wonder, well, you can't see the hereafter if you are not registered with the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, or the Honorable Brother Minister Salas Muhammad, or the Honorable Brother Minister Levi Kareem, or the Honorable Brother Minister Mutakwan, or whoever. Now, I mean, all these brothers and sisters, for that matter, are sincere, loving student followers of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings. They all, of course, have their own systems because everything in our universe operates off of some kind of system. Now, I mean, the Wi-Fi that's making this laptop work, or this phone, or these microphones, that's a system. That's a communication system. Now, I mean, when you eat your food and defecate it out and build nutrients with it, that's a digestive system, a nutritional system. Now, I mean, the light, your thoughts traveling, coming out of the earth, going back into the earth, the ecosystem, your blood system, everything in the universe operates as some form of system. You need systems. Every business is a system. There's a mathematical formula. There's a cause and effect. There's a beginning and ending, an alpha and an omega. That's how we formulate our systems in this universe covering 230 continuous 640 quadrillion miles. Likewise, the Savior's letter is the same thing. Now, that being said, there is always an exception to every rule, every law, every system. So you have to have systems that's able to override the system. Otherwise, your system will malfunction. Let me give you an example. Say you was a FOI or an MGT, and let's say you had 4 children, and you and your spouse and the children all wanted to accept your own and be yourself. You wanted to join the Nation of Islam. Hypothetically speaking, this isn't real. I'm just using this as an example to give you uh, a better picture, a more mature understanding and understanding Savior's letters and your role and membership in the holy nation of Islam. All right. Say the father, uh, in this example, let's say the father was in a car crash, okay? And let's say during the car crash, the father, who was 40 years old, had to get both of his arms amputated. And he believes in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was, you know, some other religion at first, but now he converted in the year 2022 to Islam as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And they told him, you can't see the hereafter, or you can't be a member of the Nation of Islam unless you wrote your Savior's letter. And he's like, I don't have no fingers. I don't have no hands. I don't have no arms. How can I write my Savior's letter? I can read Message to the Black Man. I can eat to live. I can see. I can articulate my belief. I can say that I bear witness that Allah came to person Master for Muhammad, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his first, last, and only messenger. I can express my heart's desire, but I can't physically write a Savior's letter to show and prove that. Would Allah, the just God, the most merciful Savior, reject him and say he is not a member of the Nation of Islam because he cannot physically write his Savior's letter? God forbid. That's spooky. That's the spooky stuff I'm saying creeping into stuff. Now, I mean, real rap. I seen brothers sitting on death row that I seen brothers in super maximum security prisons. They didn't have an ink pen. They were raw, strong. They was in the supermax because of their bearing witness to Master Muhammad and Messenger. They was that strong, that dedicated, that sincere. And we up, say, Greene County in the supermax somewhere. And they got the brother in the cell. Now, I mean, I just arrived in there. The brother in the cell, different people call me, whatever. I'm just giving the greetings, just, politic, and we walking around, whatever, going to the yard. And Fruit run to the gate, boom. Salam Allah, salam. I'm like, what the hell? Where's your stuff? He's like a wild caged animal. He don't have no clothes. He don't have no food. He don't have no books. He don't have nothing. So I'm literally shocked. Like, what the heck is going on around this? This the Supermax. You know what I mean? So I go do my little 1 hour exercise. I come back in, I'm mad. I mean, I'm really not mad at the devil. I'm mad at the brothers. When I say brothers, I mean the white brothers, the black brothers. I'm mad at the conscious prisoners. And we got conscious prisoners in all these camps. Now, I mean, they not brothers by nature, or we may not believe in the same thing. Some of them revolutionary, some of them are got different politics or whatever. Now, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's us against them. Now, I mean, in the sense of the conscious versus the unconscious. So you got unconscious prisoners and you got conscious guards. Now, I mean, so I'm mad with the guards that should know better. I'm mad at the brothers that should know better. Why y'all got this young boy down here with nothing in this cell? And it's like, oh, he always messing with the guards, spitting on them, throwing stuff, fighting them, trying to kill them, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. So I'm hollering at the young boy like, yo, how do you eat? It's like, oh, when they give me my food, they put the food on the tray, and he literally had to drink his milk the way a cat would drink milk. Like, how you lick the milk out the tray? He had to slurp his milk out the tray. They wouldn't give him a cup or, the little half pints of milk or a straw. He didn't have no spoons, no plastic forks, none of that kind of stuff. Because he's supposed to be so dangerous. He was so dangerous, they wouldn't even give him clothes, no socks, no blankets, no sheets, none of that. So I'm like, what the? So, long story short, I found what's known as a I'm not even sure if this was a while. This was like, let me see. This had to be around 1996 or something like that there. I mean, but whatever it was, I filed something for him. Basically, it was like an injunction. I think it was a temporary injunction. Certain stuff is easy to get. I'm not sure if it was a writ of habeas corpus. Nah, that wouldn't do it, a writ. I would have did something like a temporary injunction or emergency type of petition, something that the court has to answer immediately. Now, I mean, the good thing was, because everybody's not racist, I mean, a white judge physically came in there, female judge, I believe, but she came in there, and when she came in there, she went to a cell, and when she looked in there, she was like, what the? Cursed them guards out, made them bring him all his stuff. He had more than everybody, more than me, more than they gave him his TV, commissary, all this legal stuff and everything, clothes, the whole nine. So he was good as far as being in the belly of the beast. Know what I mean? But you have prisoners of war. The messenger teaches us in 24 Principles of Islam, set at liberty captive believer. You have prisoners that if they wrote a Savior's letter and gave it to the guard would take the Savior's letter and send it to security. Security will open it up, make a copy of it, tear that shit up and throw it in the trash, shred it. That's the real type of stuff brothers and sisters go through in the belly of the beast. Now, I mean, you have in this scenario, you have, say, hypothetically, as I'm saying, say the wife had the four children. Say one of her children was autistic. Now, I mean, say he or she, they simply just can't write a Saviour's letter. Now, I mean, not because they stupid. They could be geniuses in all other fields. It's just that they can't do the hand-eye coordination and write a Saviour's letter. Would they be denied the Rahman ar-Rahim, the beneficence, the mercy? Would they be denied the love of Allah? Of course not. Now, I mean, so um, the point is that the Savior's letter was and still is a form or part of the system of organizing a group of nation builders. Now, I mean, if you got people in Mississippi and California, you got to have some type of system in place. So the system that Master Muhammad put in place was Detroit, Michigan, number one is Allah's temple, number one. And you'd be like, okay, well, what if the temple can only hold 30 people and it start growing? Say we got 100 people. And you're like, you don't panic, you tweak or modify your mathematics, you adjust your system. You're like, okay, what we gonna do? We're gonna open up, we're gonna make this headquarters, and we're gonna open up a lost temple number 1B. And that's gonna be at a totally different address than 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue. So now we have what they call a satellite temple. Now, I mean, then they'd be like, well, what if they grow? Then we open up a C or a D, temple number 1F, 1G, whatever. But the thing is, the purpose or the functionality, the goal is what you're really looking at. The bottom line is you're trying to register the believers. Now, I mean, as time goes on, those mathematics is just going to just modify themselves. This is the year 2022. We had COVID shut down the world basically. Now, I mean, under those type of circumstances, Allah's temple of Islam, Muhammad's temple of Islam, becomes an online temple. You'd be like, okay, well, I got an online temple, but what about this, that, and the other? Well, you can use Zoom, you can use Google, you can use whatever. Now you can have a worldwide ministry ran from one central point of command by establishing your system or establishing what we call links. I mean, so somebody that's in China, somebody that's in Africa, somebody that's in India, somebody that's in Colorado, somebody that's in California, somebody that's in Chicago, somebody that's in Detroit can all click a button and go straight to Muhammad's temple and watch a video of the messenger. They could go straight to Chicago, Illinois and watch the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan Saviours they address live. They can pay charity online. They can whatever. You can learn how to cook food, make Akbar juice, Akbar coffee, learn how to drill, how to sew, all online. Not that that is the best or the only way. It's just that you are modifying your mathematics because of the time that we're living in the circumstances that you're operating under. So the Savior's letter, now I mean, when we say a lost temples of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had other ministers that was taught by Master Fard Muhammad. He had uh, righteous and unrighteous competition. Now, I mean, the Quran teaches us to divide one another in the best of manners, but some brothers, I mean, they get jealous. They want to cheat. They want to try to harm you. They want to slander you. They want to, I mean, see you fail. So the messenger had to separate himself from the disbelievers and make a distinction between him and them. So his thing was, okay, we're not going to use Allah's temples of Islam like everybody else in the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam wasn't even called the Nation. It was called the Lost Found Nation of Islam in the Wilderness of North America. The messengers shortened it up. We just going to call it the Nation of Islam. Now, I mean, some people had freedom, justice, equality, Islam written around each 90-degree corner of the flag of Islam. Some people just put the initial F, J, E, and I. Some people took the letters off completely. Now, I mean, some people made the flag into a seal that says, in the name of Allah, Nation of Islam. Now, I mean, none of that is right or wrong. All of that is part of the outgrowth of culture or knowledge expanding and transforming into wisdom, which the messenger said, wisdom is to make your knowledge known, and that wisdom is infinite, and that we always see more and more as time goes on. We don't see a black and white TV being manufactured in the year 2022 because the understanding of televisions has increased. Now, I mean, the old-fashioned tools that the original designer was using, nowadays they like, we don't use that kind of stuff. We got sand chips. We got microsystems now. We got tiny computerized chips today that makes a more efficient, a more viable, a more uh powerful television. Now, I mean, so the new TVs is not to outshine the old TVs. The new TVs are not to say they better than the old TVs. The new TVs is to complement the old TVs. The new TVs in the future should be considered old TVs. If not, that means your system is failing. The Nation of Islam supposed, there is no beginning nor ending to the Nation of Islam. I mean, the Nation of Islam is not done because you took and wrote something on a piece of paper or you received an X. It's an awareness, it's a consciousness, it's an acceptance of yourself, to know thyself, not to know Master Muhammad or to know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's part of it. You have to know your brother, you have to know your sister, but the most important thing is to know thyself. But the portals that you get to know thyself is through Master Farad Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in this day and time, through their teachings. And what complements their teachings is their teachers. Their teachers are not trying to get you to look towards them, but to get you to look towards the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, as we conclude, I just want to close out with a brief prayer from Allah God and His Messenger. In the name of Allah God, who appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, and in the name of his first, last, and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I bear witness that the Supreme Allah God is Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his first, last, and only messenger. And I bear witness that the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, meaning that the messenger's message, will guide me, and if you accept it, will guide you through this age of mess. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu Allah, shalom, peace, family. The struggle continues.